Next up, we got the NBA's dumbest wannabe gangster. Who's that?
Out of the 5 major American sports, basketball is the hardest sport to make it to the pros.
Is
One
it?
in 12,363.
Huh. Why? Is it because of the size of the teams? Is it because that has to be like there has to be a factor in that, right?
Players,
It has to be team
or
size, right?
0.008% of players will get signed to a professional team. To put that in perspective, if every dot on a basketball represents one potential pro signee, 3 dots out of the 35,000 will make it. The NBA also happens to pay their players the best, with the average salary per player being roughly $10 million per year, which would place you in the top 0.1% of earners in the United States. So someone like Ja Morant securing the extraordinary job as a professional basketball player means he has basically won the lottery
but I don't
of
pay
life.
attention to the NBA.
He worked
so
extremely hard and is being
I haven't heard any of the news of like what he's been doing or anything like that. I just keep hearing his name.
rewarded at the highest level for his efforts. And instead of building his legacy and setting up potential generational wealth for him and his family, he's deciding to take on the role as a gangster rapper, assaulting people, flexing weapons on Instagram, and trying to prove to the world that he really is about that life. Only person who made the NBA to go back to the hood.
Facts.
Ja grew up in South Carolina in a small, quiet country town called Dalzell. Dalzell is a few miles outside of Sumter, which is ranked as the 46th most dangerous city in South Carolina. He went to Crestwood High School, where student academic performance is just about average with the entire state. It's pretty safe to say that Ja grew up in a very average American suburb, surrounded by slightly above average crime rate, and went to an average school. We have no reason to believe that he's a gangster or is gang affiliated in any way. He has no criminal record, no history of violence, and really only a few minor arguments on the court, which is extremely normal. Ja has two loving parents who have always supported his basketball dreams and are very proud.
It's an all-black basketball team. It's more than likely in all-black neighborhoods in which are normally stricken with more crime due to poverty. Therefore, resulting in crime since crime is driven by money.
Proud of him. His mother describes him as a genuinely loving person. His father T used all of his free time to privately train Ja and help him become the superstar he is today. Morant is only 23. He was drafted as the number 2 overall pick by the Memphis Grizzlies in 2019. He won Rookie of the Year in his first season after averaging nearly 18 points per game, and every year his stats have just gotten better and better. This year he's been on fire with a 27-point average while shooting 46%. In the 2022 offseason, Ja signed a 5-year extension with the Memphis Grizzlies. This contract would earn him 25% of the salary cap yearly, which is estimated to be around $40 million per year, putting him roughly in the top 10 earners in the entire NBA. His performance in the first 5 seasons are reminiscent of Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, and Allen Iverson. Ironically, AI and Ja have even more in common, indulging in a lifestyle that is synonymous with rappers, more specifically, gangster rappers. Allen Iverson liked to party, go to clubs, drink, and gamble, which ultimately led to the downfall of his career. Ja Morant, as of recent, likes to show people how tough he is. On January 3rd, 2023, TMZ reported that Ja Morant was allegedly involved in the attack of a minor during a basketball game in July at his Tennessee home. The two got into an argument, and the teenager said,
"Nigga, you are a rich-ass basketball player. What the fuck are you doing punching out a teenager?"
Approached him, put his chin on his shoulder, and asked a bystander, "Should I do it to him?" Then struck him with a closed fist, knocking him to the ground. From there, Ja continued sticking him while on the ground, and another man jumped in and began hitting the boy as well. Officers in the dock say they noted the teenager had a large knot on his head. Ja says he did strike the boy, but he was acting in self-defense after the boy threw a basketball at him. Morant told officers the teenager made verbal threats stating he'd light his house up as he was being escorted off the property. There are also separate reports that say that Ja hit the boy 12 to 13 times, and he went into his house, grabbed a gun, and put it in his waistband, taunting the boy. Now,
Dude,
NBA
at the
news outlets
crib?
were harping on the fact that the kid was 17, but to give Ja the benefit of the doubt, a 17-year-old these days most
True.
definitely could light your house up. The four
Facts.
people
That
involved
is
in Pop
facts.
Smoke's murder were
That
19,
is facts.
18, 17, and 15. It's easy to see 17 and think of an innocent boy, but that may not be the case. The teenager did press charges, and the boy's mother demanded $20 million
20
from
mil?
Morant, but the charges were dropped due to insignificant
no.
evidence, and it was looking more like a
No.
false allegation for someone
Boy
to
said
make
he's
a
gonna
quick
light the
payday
house
off
up.
an
You ain't
NBA
getting 20
player.
mil?
But 4 days before this fight, Ja
You ain't
had
getting
another
20
police
mil?
report filed by a security guard at a finish line in the Memphis Mall. The altercation started after Morant's mother had a dispute with an employee, which led her to call her son. Ja showed up with 9 men. A verbal confrontation transpired, and then a member of Morant's group pushed the security guard in the head. Morant then said, "Let me find out what time he gets off," which made the guard want to file a report as he felt threatened by Morant's statement.
Guard's
Now,
a
Ja
pussy.
had the opportunity to show
Guard's
the
a
world how
pussy.
gangsta he was
Bro, what are you
when Shannon
securing if
Sharp
you're scared
pressed
to
the
go
Grizzlies
outside?
on the sidelines of
What?
their match against the Lakers. Shannon yelled at Dylan Brooks saying he can't guard LeBron, to which Dylan responded, "F you." Shannon retaliated and stood on the sideline begging for them to get in his face. Ja's father T even got up and barked at him a little bit, but nobody wanted to get up and close to Shannon. Ja yelled from across the court,
And the Grizzlies.
and as soon as people tried to usher Shannon away, that's when the Grizzlies decided to try and press him. Shannon
Wow.
later said, "They don't want this smoke. They don't want problems, but I wanted everything they had." Fast forward 1 week later, and Ja got into an altercation with Chris Duarte of the Indiana Pacers. Chris pushed him 3 times while Ja repeated, "Don't touch me," but Ja had some plans for retaliation after the game. Acquaintances
Oh,
of
shit?
Grizzlies star Ja
He
Morant
slid?
aggressively confronted members of the Pacers traveling party near the team's
Oh,
bus
he
in
just
the
pressed
loading
him.
area
I heard
of
about
FedEx
this. I
Forum
heard about
Arena.
this.
And
I did
later,
hear about
someone
this
in a
one. I forgot about
slow-moving
this, though.
SUV, which Morant was riding in, trained a red laser on them. We don't know if Ja was the one who pointed
this
the
was
laser.
just last month.
We
I
also
remember
don't know
this. I
if that
remember hearing
laser
about
was
this
attached
shit.
to a gun. But was Ja trying to do the first post-NBA game drive-by? I guess by comparison, it's not as bad
Wow.
as Gilbert Arenas. The Wizards player in 2009 brought a gun into the locker room and threatened to shoot one of his teammates over a card game. But let's not forget
Wow.
that last year at 2 in the morning, Ja said to a Twitter op that it's free to see how hollows feel, referring to hollow tip bullets. And if that evidence wasn't enough, just last week, Ja went
Bro
on
is
Instagram
just
Live
doing
while he was
everything that everybody in jail is doing. What the fuck? Bro is doing all the things that all the rappers that done went to jail. Nigga, you were not supposed to talk about that shit on Twitter. Even if you are gonna do it. You don't make you seem tougher. All it does is add evidence for the fucking police. Stop being stupid.
at the strip club and flashed a gun to the camera. This action
Also
prompted a
stupid.
2-game suspension, as well as Ja deactivating all of his social media pages. Obviously,
Good.
99% of people
Good,
denounced this
'cause that is
behavior,
evidence,
but some people
dumbass.
like Gilbert Arenas and Paul Pierce defended Ja, basically saying they understand why he carries a gun. Ja has everything going right for him. He's living a life that's near impossible to achieve. So why does he want to
This
run
nigga's
around
way
and
too
act
rich not to
gangsta
have a
now?
gun.
Bro, you not hard. That's not your life. People that in that life would give anything to be in your life.
Damn, I swear sports and music are so synonymous because we want to be them and they want to be us. Those lyrics come from Thank Me Now, the final track on Drake's 2010 debut album Thank Me Later. Rappers love the esteem, the money, and the safety that basketball players have, but basketball players love the lifestyle that rappers have. We know that Ja loves NBA Youngboy. He is constantly going on IG Live rapping along to his lyrics. Youngboy has a way of
He's
making
an
his
NBA
nefarious
clown.
lifestyle sound fun and exciting, even though it's extremely stressful and he likely has a target on his back 24/7. Like we said before, Ja is from a small suburb in the middle of South Carolina, and we have reason to believe he's had a pretty solid and stable upbringing. He moved to Memphis, which is known for being a dangerous city, home to a lot of famous rappers. He became the face of the Grizzlies franchise, so everyone in the city loves him. When he goes to the club, where real Memphis gangsters probably hang out, they likely show him love. Even rival gangsters in Memphis could probably bond over
Facts,
the
they all be
Grizzlies
going to
being
the
their
club, so
favorite
they all be
team.
intermingling
He's getting a
there.
taste of their lifestyle, the lifestyle that his favorite rappers glamorize. They are bringing him places he never would have been able to go, and he probably isn't too worried about his safety because he doesn't have enemies. He wants the power and the respect. He probably
Wait, what?
isn't too worried about his safety because he doesn't have enemies.
He probably does now.
He wants the power and the respect that comes with having street cred, but he doesn't have to risk his life for it, and he has a guaranteed $10 million yearly salary.
Ooh.
Ja has everything they don't,
Nigga,
and he wants the
why
one
you
thing
wanna
they
be
have.
hood if you
but
can
the
fucking
one thing
fuck
that
like
they
that?
have requires
What the
them
fuck?
to be alert and
Fuck
prepared
being
to
a
risk
gangster.
their life at any given moment.
Fuck that.
Some people say 23 years old is enough to know better, but there's no doubt that a small reason why he's acting out is due to his age. 23 with enough money to do whatever he wants is dangerous, especially when his father is also indulging in his son's success. The NBA definitely wants to see Ja succeed, but if he continues down this path, he will be ostracized by the media, and eventually
Facts.
it will be too risky for any team to bring him on.
Don't
His
be no
career will
Allen
be cut
Iverson.
short similar to other players who have tried these antics in the past. And the funny part about that is, his new friends that are bringing him into this lifestyle won't be there for him when he isn't a star basketball player
Facts.
anymore.
You ain't got no bread, them niggas gonna be gone.
It's gonna be a good.
Them motherfuckers gonna be gone once the bread gone, tell you that much. W. Patrick CC.